You're on now. Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we please take our seats? We're going to start the meeting.
Oh, starting to tremble. Oh, good.
All right, could you all please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. McCarthy? Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Supervisor Wareham.
Here.
Councilman McCarthy.
Here.
Councilwoman Nowick. Here. Councilwoman Inzarella.
Here.
Councilman Lohman.
Here. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Thursday night board meeting. Before we start the agenda, I'm going to have our public information officer, Nicole Goggiulo, come up, and she just wants to talk to you about the comprehensive plan that's underway. She has some information. You can do it there.
Okay. Thank you, Supervisor. The town of Smithtown is in the process of updating its comprehensive master plan. This is a massive public outreach effort being conducted to ensure the plan reflects the vision of the community in their respective hamlets. We would like to encourage everyone, including students, to participate. There will be community workshops in each hamlet beginning in March. In addition, residents can fill out an online questionnaire via publicinput.com/Smithtown. Additional information about the comprehensive master plan and our outreach efforts is on the flyer at the entrance here and at the senior center. The first meeting is for the hamlet of Smithtown, and it's here at the senior center, March 7th at 7 p.m. We'll even have a kids planning table, so parents who are interested in attending, you can bring your kids and they'll have plenty to do, so you can focus and share your input. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nicole. All right, we're going to begin this evening with the town board agenda, so Madam Clerk.
Under correspondence, number 1, Kings Park High School 5K Color Run, third reading. 2, Breathe for Brit Foundation Annual 5K Run, third reading. 3, Celebrate St. James Past, Present, Future Art Walk, third reading. 4, Hop School Spring 5K Family Fun Run, second reading. 5, Nissaquag River State Park Foundation Annual 5K Sunset Run, second reading. 6, Ronkonkoma Rotary Run Around Lake, 5K, first reading. Number 7, Smithtown Chamber of Commerce Smithtown Festival Day, first reading. 8, Kings Park Chamber of Commerce Kings Park Festival Day, first reading. 9, Kings Park Chamber of Commerce Summer Nights in the Park, first reading. 10, Kings Park Chamber Mondays on Main Outdoor Family Event, first reading. And number 11, Building Department report.
Okay, is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard regarding these special events? No, we'll move on.
Number 2 is consent agenda controller and consent agenda resolutions.
Okay, is there anyone on the town board that wishes to remove anything from the consent agenda? No. Okay, we will move on. Vinnie?
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nowick.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Under resolutions, A, the town board, after due study and deliberation of the subject record, to issue a secret negative declaration, determination of non-significance in the following matters. 1, the town board's own motion to approve the Smithtown Highway Department 2019 road program. 2, the application for site plan approval by Bola Operating LI Corp. for Bola Operating, north side of Jericho Turnpike, west of Ruth Boulevard in Comac.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nowick.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to authorize the town clerk to advertise for the following bids to be returned to Town Hall, 99 West Main Street, on the dates indicated. 1, bid 19-19, automotive rebuilding services.
Councilman Lohman.
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella.
Yes.
Councilwoman Nowick.
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy.
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to award the following bids and to authorize the purchase of associated goods or services. 1, Bid number 18-103 for concrete curbs, sidewalks, and driveway aprons to Suffolk Asphalt Corp. 2, bid 19-01 for our office cleaning services to One Service Commercial Building Maintenance Incorporated. 3, bid 19-6 for outboard motors and related items to American Marine Incorporated.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to approve the following. 1, Fire Marshal Timothy Clark to attend 80-hour fire arson investigation course. Number 2, Bay Constables Charles Malloy and George Ronan to attend the Marine Law Enforcement Training. 3, Fire Marshal Timothy Murphy and Lieutenant Thomas Lohman to attend basic code training courses. 4, the town board hereby declares certain real property located at 21 Heather Drive in Kings Park, said property reputedly owned by Federal National Mortgage Association in violation of Chapter 221 of the Town Code, and further determines that since the reputed owner has failed to remediate said violations after 72 hours notice of same, the town board hereby demands that the property owner remove all violations. 5, the Department of Environment and Waterways to purchase 2 Chevy Bolt from WebSport Chevrolet. 6, accept a grant awarded from Department of Homeland Security in the amount of $40,000 for the purpose of purchase of ancillary patrol boat equipment. 7, authorize the tax receiver to extend the deadline with respect to payment of real estate property taxes for furloughed or designated non-pay federal employees for 90 days. 8, adoption of the Highway Department Road Program for 2019. 9, part-time appointment of Lisa Jacino Calla, Esquire, to the position of Traffic Hearing Officer in the Traffic Violations Bureau. 10, Max Newkirch and Brian Lenz to attend the 11th Annual Traffic Wear Training Seminar.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes to all, and I'm going to abstain from number 3.
okay. Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
The town board to authorize the supervisor to execute the following on a form approved by the town attorney. 1, intermunicipal cooperation agreement between the town of Smithtown and the Smithtown Fire District for shared records management services. 2, the supervisor to enter into a collective bargaining agreement with the Smithtown Administrators Guild. 3, professional services agreement with H2M Architects and Engineers for land surveying services.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
Under personnel, the town board to approve the following personnel matters. Number 1, part-time appointment of Elaine Hawthorne. Number 2, part-time appointment of Arlene Tipping Sestari. Number 3, full-time provisional appointment of John Gonzalez. 4, full-time appointment of Sonia Lorraine. 5, full-time appointment of Dylan Grandinette. 6, promotion of Gary Haggerty. 7, change of status for Catherine Borowski. 8, salary change in the Recreation Department for seasonal employees. 9, part-time appointment of Christine Lennon.
Councilman Lohman,
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes.
And there's
One read
one
out?
additional. Home rule request issuance in support of Senate bill and Assembly bill to authorize the town of Smithtown to alienate and convey certain parcels of land used as parklands in Kings Park.
Councilman Lohman,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella,
Yes, yes.
Councilwoman Noack,
Absolutely, yes.
Councilman McCarthy,
Yes.
Supervisor Wareham.
Yes. Okay, that concludes resolutions.
Yes.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I know there's many of you here this evening to speak in regard to the siting of a group home on Twix Hills Road. The first thing we're going to do, you have someone that wants
We
to
have-
speak on another town issue?
We have one on town issue.
Okay, we're going to do that first.
Right.
Peter Hansen. Did I do okay with that?
Good evening, Peter Hansen, Nesconset. We are Nesconset. Well, the catchers and pitchers have reported to spring training, which means, and it's St. Valentine's Day, which means that summer is soon coming. I want to remind you that we need shade at the Gibbs Pond Park, something similar to what exists up at the park next to the library on Smithtown Boulevard. So just hoping that something is moving in that direction. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. We'll work on that. Okay, before we begin public speaking portion, I just want everyone here to understand we have a 3-minute rule. That 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced this evening. Public participation is subject to the rules of decorum that was on your speaker sheet. It is Town Code Section 76.7. Public portion is for town-related matters only. Any unsubstantiated, unverified, or material false information will be interrupted. Please give your name and address to the clerk for the record, and while you're speaking, you must address the board. Before we start, I would like to introduce two folks that are here. Mary Rafferty is the Chief Operating Officer of Life Work. She's going to get up and do a presentation. And we also want to thank New York State Assembly Michael Fitzpatrick for being here this evening. Once the presentation is done, you have your opportunity to come up and speak to this issue for 3 minutes. Myself, the Town Council, Life Works representatives, and New York State Assembly Mike Fitzpatrick will remain after the meeting to attempt to answer any questions or concerns you may have, but it will not be back and forth at the mic. So we appreciate your cooperation. Thank you very much. Ms. Rafferty, would you like to come up? Thank you.
Good evening. Is it working? Can you
Yep.
hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
Hello, my name is Mary Rafferty. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Life's Work. Thank you to the Town Board for having us here this evening to share information and answer any questions. I have staff from Life's Work team here with me this evening, and I just want to ask them to stand for a minute so that people know who they are in the audience. Thank you. Life's Work is a non-for-profit 50c3 that's been in operation for 47 years. We're a parent-founded agency. We provide supports to people with intellectual disabilities and autism. We have 41 group homes and 6 day habilitation programs in Nassau, Suffolk, Queens, and New York City. We operate a family center for autism in Garden City, which provides supports to children with autism and their families. Our plans for the Twix Hills home is to develop a 6-bed IRA in conjunction with the Office of People with Developmental Disabilities, or OPWDD. The home will be certified by OPWDD for 6 individuals. The people moving into the home are in their 20s, and they have a diagnosis of autism. This group of people will require just some support to live a full life. Over the past few weeks, I've had the opportunity to speak with many of the neighbors who have reached out with questions and concerns, and even some support. I'd like to take a few minutes to clear up any misinformation and address some of the issues that were presented during those phone calls. Many of the concerns shared, understandably, had to do with what you will see and how the home will affect your block. So let's begin. Life's Work has absolutely no affiliation with the group home on Angela Court or any other group home in St. James. Our closest home is in Hop Hog. None of the people moving into the home have criminal backgrounds. They've been supported by their school districts, and they have recently turned 21 years old, so are aging out. All of the staff working in our homes have criminal background checks completed. We also closely monitor our staff's driver's license status, utilizing a program that will alert us if a staff member has any type of driving infraction. Life's Work purchased the home understanding that it would need renovation and updates. We started with an outside cleanup. We removed years' worth of leaves and a broken swing set. You can expect to see work on the exterior of the home, siding, shutters, windows, and new pathways. The yard will be fenced, and after meeting with our next-door neighbor, we agreed to match their fencing because it's quite attractive and it blends in beautifully with the neighborhood. We pride ourselves on ensuring our homes are well-maintained and landscaped. More importantly, our staff understand the things that make us good neighbors and are held to a very high standard. Our garbage will always be well-maintained. It is in all of our homes. There will not be 2 large marked vehicles in the driveway. We don't use large vans. We're actually, we just priced out Chrysler Pacificas for this particular house. They will not be marked, and there will be no backup noise beeping. We'll be updating the home while remaining within the original footprint of the home. We're working closely with our architect to include a circular driveway in the design to address some of the concerns around parking. We have every intention of supporting the St. James community with our shopping and use of recreational activities. Our formula for success is using half of existing Life's Work staff and hiring well in advance from the St. James community to ensure by the day we move in, our staff are very well trained. We chose this home for the same reason many of our neighbors did. It's a beautiful block with a nice-sized lot and a home that meets our square footage needs in a wonderful community. The people moving into this home have families who had a choice of where to find services, and they did their homework. They're trusting Life's Work to support their children, and I'm asking you to give us the opportunity to show you how well it can work when it's done right. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rafferty. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will begin. Just keep in mind the 3-minute rule will be strictly enforced for every speaker. So,
Supervisor, we have 2 emails that have to be read into the record.
okay?
Good evening. On behalf of the Damon Park Civic Association, we would like to make the following statement for the purpose of inclusion in the official minutes of the February 14th, 2019 Smithtown Town Board meeting. Before we make our statement, we would like to be clear that the objection we are about to make is in no way a reflection on those with either a physical or a mental disability or the organization of Life's Work. This objection is based solely on the intended use of the property at 46 Twixt Hill Road that will permanently alter the nature and character of the neighborhood it wishes to occupy. The manner in which any property is utilized is classified as its use. The intended use of 46 Twixt Hills Road will alter the neighborhoods of Damon Park and Hillside Terrace as follows. It will increase motor vehicle traffic significantly in a closed-loop neighborhood where no through traffic currently exists. The neighborhood has been defined for over 50 years as a secluded and rural environment. There are no strangers in the area, and 99% of traffic is comprised of only residents. Families relocated here with the expectation that their children would be free to enjoy the exact same security, free from additional automobiles, additional buses and vans, and most importantly, a flow of strangers in the form of the staff working at the residents who do not reside in the neighborhood. This character will be altered if the use of the current 46 Twixt Hills property is allowed to be changed. We understand that the state can override local jurisdiction and make exceptions. With that said, we have researched and found more suitable locations within Smithtown that offer greater access to the amenities that Life's Work seeks and present minimal character impact on the neighborhoods they would occupy. Please refer to the documentation that has been distributed to each of you following this. In closing, we as current tax-paying residents of the town of Smithtown are asking our elected officials to represent us by executing the following, which is allowable under state law. Request a hearing before the Commissioner of the Homes Licensing Agency, here the OPWDD, to appeal the decision that the intended use of the proposed property does not alter the community of Damon Park and Hillside Terrace. And secondly, that the town of Smithtown present a researched list of properties as suitable alternative sites for the IRA. We appreciate your time this evening to hear our unified objection to the proposed use of the property at 46 Twixt Hills Road. We request that you seriously review the documentation that will now be distributed to each of you and give it the consideration it deserves. It was distributed prior to me reading this. Given the urgency of this situation and given the 40-day window allowed by the Padavan law, we kindly ask that you respond to the requests made in this statement by February 21st, 2019. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, and I handed them out earlier to the
Yeah, we
members.
have it.
Yeah, and then we have one more.
One more?
Yeah.
Supervisor Wareheim, Town Attorney Matthew Jakubowski, Smithtown Board members, and representatives of Life's Work. Let this serve as an official record of some of the current residents of Twixt Hills Road concerns regarding the residential facility proposed for our neighborhood located at 46 Twixt Hills Road. To be clear, we do not have an issue with the individuals who will reside in the proposed residential facility, and we are sympathetic to their needs and the needs of their families. Our concerns surround the day-to-day management of the residential facility, its staff, employees, and its condition and appearance. After looking at other Life's Work facilities, we are hopeful that the proposed residential facility, if approved, will be upgraded in the same manner and with a mind for design that suits the character of our neighborhood. We all take care of our properties because we have a common expectation for our neighborhood. That is why we purchase homes here. We would expect that this proposed residential facility, if approved, do the same. It's important to keep in mind that while Life's Work is a not-for-profit, they are a business that would be operating on a residential street in the middle of our block. And now there's a whole list of questions that will be passed on to Life's Work. And so to reiterate, we do not have an issue with the individuals who will possibly reside in the proposed residential facility, and we are sympathetic to their needs and the needs of their families. We just want our block to maintain its residential identity. Sincerely, the current residents of Twixt Hills Road.
And those questions will appear in the minutes.
Right.
Okay,
Okay, those are the only two we have. They'll be entered
that's
into
it.
the
Yep,
record.
and now we have.
Okay, we can begin.
Joseph Winters.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Joe Winters of the Winters family. The Winters family have lived in St. James for over 50 years. My brothers and I, plus my wife and her family, all grew up in this town. We all love this town so much that we decided to raise our own families here. Okay. That family includes my son Sean, who has autism and is 24 years old. Some of you may know Sean because you see him around town on a daily basis. He eats in the restaurants, or he's shopping at King Cullen, or he may be going for a walk in one of our beautiful parks. Sean's mother and I want Sean to live in St. James with the rest of the Winters family so we could help support him in his life. So we went out and we found the best agency that there is anywhere that operates groups home. I did my research, okay, and I found that that agency is LifeWorks. Okay, they really are the best anywhere. Okay, together we went through all the protocols and all the procedures, and LifeWorks and New York State identified that the right location to have a group home at St. James was on Twixt Hills Road. It fits all of the criteria that needs to be met. It's very upsetting to me and my family that I have to go to a hearing so my son that grew up in this town can live in this town. That there's something wrong with that. Okay, it's just not right. Okay, if this were people of a different religion, okay, or of a different race, we wouldn't be having this hearing tonight. Okay, and it should be no different for people with disabilities. Okay, I promise everyone who lives in Twixt Hills, okay, that home is going to be the nicest home on that block. Okay, I promise you that. Okay, these are nice young men. Okay, and LifeWorks is a great agency. Okay, and to help these people with their lives. Okay, and they deserve to have a home, just like the rest, everyone in this room. We all deserve to live in a nice home, and people with autism do also too. Okay, I would be happy to meet anybody at the homeowners association. I'd be happy to be part of the homeowners association, to deal with any issues that they have. Okay, I'm happy to hand out my cards to
Mr.
anybody
Winters?
who wants them.
Could you just address us, please?
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Thank
Sorry.
you.
Okay, I'd like to thank the town board for having this hearing tonight, and I'd like to thank everybody for coming here. Thank you, that's all I have to say.
Thank you very much.
Denise Matera.
I think she just left.
Hi, good evening. My name is Denise, I'm sorry. My name is Denise Matera. I lived in St. James my whole life. For the last 23 years, I've been living on Cambon Avenue, where there's a group home there. I've never had any issues. As far as the traffic or any vehicles in the driveway, there's never been any disruption or any problems. Myself and my family feel very strongly that these loving individuals who deserve the right to live in our community. I really feel strongly about a group home. It's an amazing thing, and I really feel strongly about it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Susan Fitzharris.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you. I just wanted to say that I wish my neighbors had the criteria that LifeWorks has with the a description that she had with the matching of fence, and I mean, I commend you. I mean, a driver's license, background checks, I commend, and actually, I'm going to be supporting your organization, but I'm not talking to her, I'm talking to you. So that's number one. And I had a whole speech about autism and how this developmental disease is riveting, and our children, grandchildren, friends, and family are faced with this developmentally disabled condition. So I was going down that road, but I appreciate the emails and the people behind the voice saying how they respect that. And this is not about the character and the people inside the houses. I think that's beautiful. And I'm only hoping that they see it's bigger picture than that, because if you're that respectful of the individuals in a house, you need to be respectful of where they're living and the fact that they need a life and they need a home. It really goes hand in hand. So I'm not too sure about that comment. I'm hoping it's sincere. And if it's sincere, we shouldn't be here right now. Okay. The other thing I wanted to mention is the business operating on the block. Now, my name is Susan. I've had a very good business here in Smithtown and Middle Country Road for years. I've been living here for 30 years. I am very active in all the schools. I'm a mentor to these children, and I continue to do that, and I love it. And I talk about compassion, and I talk about love and support and what the good God did for us here. And we need to express that to one another and support one another. And by saying that you're operating a business, by all means, that's not a business. They're helping people that need help, and it's the same people, and they all have background checks. So I'm hoping people talk to Joe Winters, do face-to-face. Please, promise me they do that, because I think there's miscommunication. I think there's misinformation, and I'm going to bet that that's going to make a difference. Okay, and I'm willing to help anyone in this room to understand that, because this Winters family is a beautiful, beautiful family. And that son, Sean, kisses and hugs you to the end. And I'm irate. It's a humiliating experience to be here. And I really wish I didn't have to do that. But I will do anything for that family, because they do anything for everyone that's out there. And I pray to God that everyone supports this family and lives with compassion. That's what the world needs today. We're supposed to be here together, unite, no barriers. Please, please, let's all be together, be happy, and show love and compassion to one another. Thank you.
Stephen Joseph.
Good Good evening. Happy Valentine's Day. My name is Stephen Joseph. I live at 31 Stony Hill Path in Smithtown. And my wife Kathy and I have raised 4 children in that home at Stony Hill Path in Smithtown. And our house sits directly behind the property at DDI. DDI is Developmental Disabilities Institute. And we have never regretted living in that house right behind DDI for one day for the past 25 years. And I think that anybody who comes out in opposition of a project like this is, should rethink that. Because, if you live in a house with healthy children, I think that you need to rethink your opposition to this. I know the Winters family very, very well, and I know they would never get behind anything that they wouldn't be proud of, and I think everybody in the room should support this project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mary Lou Hines.
My name is Mary Lou Hines. I live at 4 Lloyd Lane in Nesconset. Today's a special day. It's Valentine's Day. There's a day that I can't forget, and that would be July 20th, 1999. My husband and I sat across from Dr. Lee Kahn. She was a pediatric neurologist at Cohen Children's Hospital. Our 18-month-old son was diagnosed with pervasive development disorder, which is under the autism spectrum. Autism is a neurological disorder with various characteristics. Their varying severity in the impairment of social interaction, communication, sometimes restrictive patterns of thought and behavior. The saying goes, if you've met one child with autism, you've met one child with autism. As of April 2018, the Center for Disease Control reports the autism prevalence is 1 in 59 children. We soon learned our lives would not be like other parents. We'd never know those hectic schedules, rushing off to t-ball practice or football games. We wouldn't know all those birthday party invitations that became a nuisance after a while. We never got to that point. We wouldn't know about sweet 16s or proms. Instead, we knew countless appointments with therapists, with neurologists, psychologists, psychoeducational evaluations, and even social skills training. Imagine that, having to take your child to a professional to learn how to appropriately socialize. And that's what we did. We embrace our role as Stephen's parents with all the love and commitment any other parent would give. In fact, I think maybe a little more. As we near retirement age, we have some tough decisions. We're not thinking whether we should go south to Florida, maybe escape the winters and taxes. Not you, Winters. Even through my tears, I can tell a joke. We're contemplating our son's life when we're gone, and I mean dead. I don't mean gone from here. Right now, he has a wonderful home with 2 loving and dedicated parents. Where will he go? Where will he and others like him be welcome? So I want you to know this is what Stephen looks like. He graduated from Smithtown High School East in 2015. My time is running out. He passed almost all of the Regents exams. He excels in math. He plays classical piano. He plays chess. He knows more than I do about US presidents, penguins, and Harry Potter. He was part of an independent documentary film about the role of music and art in autistic children. And I'd like you to please take a moment and read the poem. She got it out. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Will Flower.
Supervisor, I appreciate, and the board members, I appreciate the opportunity to talk tonight. I wanted to express my thanks for having this meeting tonight to allow residents to become more familiar with this home. I'm in a very special position because I get the opportunity to work with Sean Winters, who's going to be one of the residents who will be living at this home. I feel I have one of the best jobs
because each week I get the opportunity to see and spend time with Sean, along with other people with disabilities. Since getting to know Sean, I can vouch for what others have said. Sean is a nice young man. I'm also fortunate because I've known the Winters family for many years. I consider them very close friends. I know that they're passionate and they care very much about their community, especially when it comes to St. James and Smithtown. Everyone knows that finding and securing housing and residential support for adults with autism is a challenge. To address that challenge, the Winters family selected and works with LifeWorks to manage the home. Over the past year, I've had the opportunity to meet with the people who manage the LifeWorks and also many of the staff members who work there. I can attest to the fact that the people who are at LifeWorks are talented, they're dedicated to helping the disabled. The commitment that they have is the reason that LifeWorks is the premier organization that supports people with developmental disabilities and autism. My only ask is that the people who are opposed to this home is to ask to be kind and accepting. That's what a community is all about. As I said earlier, I appreciate tonight's meeting as a way to allow residents to learn more about the plans for this home. But in the end, there are really three truths. The fact is that every town has residents with special needs, and the best communities are those that welcome and have homes for them. The second is that this home is needed, and it's needed now. And the third, and perhaps most importantly, is that this project shows that the St. James is a community that cares. Thank you.
Thank you.
Denise Walsh.
Good evening. I'm a staff member at Life's Work, and I've been in a new position now as I oversee quality assurance and compliance with OPWD state regulations. I provide supports and oversight of all the training the staff receives, and I also oversee person-centered supports to ensure each person has a good quality of life. Life's Work's philosophy for each person we support is living with dignity and growing with pride. We see people first and their disability second, and ask that you do the same. The young men who will be living in their new home didn't ask for the hand they were dealt in life, and we all have a role and responsibility in supporting them to have a good quality of life. I'd like to quote Mahatma Gandhi: "The best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service to others." I've been supporting people with developmental disabilities and autism for the past 30 years, and I can truly say that each person wants what all of you want, to be happy and treated with dignity and respect. Safety is Life's Work's primary concern for all involved, for each person with a developmental disability and their circle of support, which includes their family, their friends, their staff, and their community members. Life's Work strives to build strong community connections and partnerships. We want to become a part of this neighborhood and not just live in it. We afford each person respect and privacy, and will respect the privacy of our neighbors too. We want to be good neighbors and integrate into the community and participate in community events, just like joining this community board, as well as keeping our property neat and clean, helping with snow removal for our neighbors, bringing in the pails for any elderly neighbors, assisting them with their newspapers or mail if they go on vacation. We will be a trusted neighbor, and you and your families will learn a lot about yourselves when you welcome us into your neighborhoods. Due to the Padovan law, people with disabilities still have to advocate for inclusion. But you and I had free will to choose where we would like to live without any opposition. So we hope you understand that each of these young men are people first, and their disability comes second. And we will support each of them to have a good quality of life that is safe, dignified, and respected. Thank you.
Patrick Fazio.
Good evening, everybody. Mr. Town Supervisor, Town Board, I thank you for the opportunity to speak here. I'm a little taken back, quite frankly, that we're here. because, you know, I'm a resident 53 years in the town of Smithtown. I'm a father of two beautiful young adults, two young women. I never had to face those trials, those tribulations that we just heard about from the Winters and from the other woman. I can't imagine what that would be like. I don't want to imagine what it would be like. For the people that oppose this, think about what you're doing. How does it not tug at your heart? I would welcome a neighbor like this any day of the week. I mean, the obstacles that have been placed in front of these young individuals, their whole life, and now we're going to place another obstacle that they can't live near their families and they can't enjoy life? Come on, let's think about that. So I urge you to really, really look at this, and knowing the Winters family the way I do, there's no doubt this will be the best looking house on the block. And these individuals will have the opportunity to live a good life surrounded by good people, especially the neighbors of Twixt Hills when they see what they get. Thank you.
Keith Beckler.
Hi, I live at 19 Pia Boulevard in Smithtown. I've been a resident for 50 years, living in Smithtown. I'm absolutely appalled that anyone, can come up here protesting against housing that will help the unfortunate kids with disabilities. We should all come together as a community to help the individuals and not try to move them away. I'm very ashamed of a few people who are here to fight against this, to discriminate against the individuals that need help is absolutely disgusting. These kids are sweet and hardworking. They'll not cause any issues that would interfere with any persons living next to or near the premises. I, for one, will be glad to put my time in and help to settle into their new home. I will do whatever I could. They can call me anytime. I'll be there around the block, so I'll help out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Michael Sabone.
Thank you. There's not much more I can say other than reiterate how the Winters are the salt of the earth. I know Sean personally. I've been at a lot of football games with him. And it is kind of upsetting and deplorable that we can't keep someone who was born and raised in this community and he can't live his life out in this town. So, again, there's not much to add other than it is upsetting that we have to go through this process, but I realize that we do. But I can tell you now, knowing Joe Winters and the caliber of man that he is, it will be the nicest place on the block. And no one will have any regrets. Thank you for your time.
I'm going to apologize before I say this name. Kathy Zampiron.
They're good. I'm not going to extend, but I agree with all these people that have been up to the podium. Just tugged at my heartstrings that we have to be here for this.
Do I include this? She didn't go up. Do I include this? She didn't go up. Do I include this?
No.
Sue Seaburn. Coburn, yes.
Hi. I too reside on Cambon Avenue, further than Denise. Hi, Denise. Closer to the group home that's on Cambon. I too am a mom of a daughter that's 16 that has autism. So I'm not at this point yet, but I am very involved in the community. And I will say, I'm not sure of the name of the agency that runs the home, but the therapist, I know there was concern expressed about the staff. The staff is highly, highly educated, and they have good hearts, and basically they're devoted to the people that reside in this group home. And they pass my house a lot, they take them for walks. They're the nicest people you ever want to meet, And I have 2 other kids that are in college now, and I hope that my kids turn out like that staff. And I'm sure the staff from Life's Work is just as educated and good-hearted, and we welcome them into the community.
Crystal de Blasio.
Hi, everyone. My name is Crystal de Blasio. I live at 3 Applewood Road. I've owned that home only for 8 years, but I've grew up in Smithtown. I went to high school and junior high school here. I do know the Winters family, most of them, not so much on a personal level. So the thing that I want to say is I'm not coming here with the same thing that everybody is coming here with. I don't want people to think that they're coming with emotion. The Winters families have been here forever. Their homes are impeccable. They are great citizens. They are helpful to their community. And after hearing what everyone here had to say that would work in this home and that works for this organization, I can't see any reason why we shouldn't have this home in this community. That's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Tony Lettieri.
Good evening. My name is Tony Lettieri. I live at 18 Allenby Drive in Fort Salonga, and I thank you, Supervisor, and the rest of the board, taking time to hear us. I know the Winters family, and my family knows them over 80 years, although I'm not here to speak about them. I'm here to speak about autism and our oldest daughter who dedicated her life to teaching autism. And for those people here that are opposed to something like this, my daughter's goal is to get these kids to be at the point where these young adults can be in a home like this. And without people like Joe Winters and the lady here that's running this organization, these kids would be lost. But you don't understand what an achievement it is for these kids to be in a home like this, knowing that they're self-sufficient. I didn't know much about autism until my daughter started getting involved with this about 10 years ago. But I could tell you, from heart to heart, there's nothing more rewarding for these children to know that they are somewhat independent. And I'm appealing to your common sense and your good heart, and the fact that you have the Winters Brothers family guaranteeing this thing to approve it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Dale Parrots.
And Richard, forgot about him.
Excuse me, ma'am. Are you both going to speak?
I'm just going to speak.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, one of the emails that you received said current residents. We are not only a current resident on Twixt Hills Road, but we have been living on Twixt Hills Road for 50 years. We're an original resident. Unfortunately, our son was tragically hit by a car at Belmead Avenue and Jericho Turnpike in 1984. And he lived at home for 18 years. And as time went on, we realized that he couldn't be with us forever because we weren't going to live forever. So I started to do some research, and just by accident, I had a business in St. James for many years. I became involved in Life's Work, and I ended up on the board of directors for 10 years. And in that time, I realized that this was a place where if we wanted our son to live and have a quality of life, this was the agency. It's not even about, I hear people talking about emotion. Yeah, we're emotional, but we have facts. Our son is safe. They do wonderful things in the house. He has they have a football party. They have a New Year's Eve party. They go out all the time. The house is clean. He's safe. He's well taken care of. He's respected. We chose this agency because of all those things, and I'm still closely involved with his home. I went to a meeting with Damon Park and some Twixt Hills Road people a few weeks ago, And I invited them, as I invite any of you, to join me at any time without any notice, except at night when people may be sleeping, to come and visit a home, visit my son's home. You will find, with all due respect to the Winters, we don't need the Winters. Life's work, this house will be different. It will be the best-looking house on the block, and our house looks pretty nice. It's going to be the best-looking house. This is not about disabilities. Someone taught me that a long time ago in life's work. This is about capabilities, and we really have to think that way. I really hope that the people of the community come together and welcome these people into the community. When they have a problem, if they ever have a problem, then they can balk, but not before. My husband and I will be there the day they move in with a cake welcoming them, and I really hope that our neighbors are the kind of people that we like to live amongst and will welcome them as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Victoria Cuomo.
Good evening. Happy Valentine's Day, and I think it's awesome that everybody's here for such a great cause and giving up your time. I know Jackie, and I just got to meet the Winters as of recently. I think they're a wonderful family, and really what this is about is like what they said, put yourself in their position. Most of us have healthy children, but if it was the other way around and you didn't, you would want to know that when you got older, your kids were going to be taken care of, and knowing that they're going to be in a home to be supported. Because really, I think what they are, it's not a business. It's about support, and also, like they said, about them being independent. So it's about a balance, these kids feeling part of society, and I guess, what's the word? Self-sufficient in a way, but being supported by this wonderful company. And really, I think it's about being human first, and about, I just think, being educated. And I think a lot of times when we come to conclusions, it's because we're ignorant to the facts. So I think coming to this meeting was huge. And if you didn't think this was a good idea, I hope that with all the knowledge that you got from tonight, that you realize that this is going to be a wonderful thing for these children and for future children, because I feel like this is like a stepping stone for other families, because like they said, the rise in autism is huge. So it's not going to be just these kids. It's all the other kids to come. So what we're doing right now and the decision that we're making right now is huge. So open your heart, open your minds, and do the right thing, which is to support the Winters, to support these wonderful kids, okay?
Thank you.
Victor Noche.
Hello, Town Board. My name is Victor Noche. I've been a town resident for 40 years. I was born here. I'm also upset that I'm here. I'm happy I'm here, but I can't believe that I'm actually here, that people protest this. It's amazing the things that people protest nowadays. I hope and I pray that they never have to deal with any situation like this, because it's horrible that they would even behave that way. But I just also wanted to mention that I do live off of Cambon, where some other people live, and there's a group home on the block, and I don't have a problem with it at all. They're very nice people. I ride my bike by them, I run by them, my kids go by them. We never have a problem. So I think that the board should, I'm sure the board will do the right thing, and I think that they should. And I think there should be maybe more of these things that go on in the community to help others. If we can do anything to help others, and I remember as a kid there was the Kings Park Psychiatric Center, and that closed, and then you have various people wandering, so to speak. So, there's a lot of people that could use a home, and maybe there's areas for that as well as maybe veterans or disabled veterans or anybody who's homeless. If we can help them in any way, we certainly should. So
we should do whatever we need to do, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak, and thank you for everything that you find people do for this community, because we live in a great town. So I don't know if anybody ever says thank you, but I just want to say thank you, and I'm happy to be a resident here, and I hope that this gets passed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Chris Damianos.
Good evening, Supervisor Werheim and members of the Town Board. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I feel like I'm a newcomer here. I hear some people that have been here in the town for 50 years. I've only been here maybe about 25 years. But that's also a testament to Smithtown. That's what makes Smithtown a great place. People want to keep living here, and they live here for a very long time. They also want their kids to live here. I have 3 children. They're living at home right now. I'm hoping and quite frankly praying that when they move out of the house, not praying that they move out, but when they move out, that they move into Smithtown or St. James or any of these townships here. I know that having one of the most difficult jobs of a town board is siting of essential facilities, hospitals, police stations, fire departments, all that stuff is essential. Having a group home that takes care of residents of the town is also essential. So it's a difficult job that you have to do, but it is absolutely imperative that you have a place for Smithtown residents to go that aren't as fortunate, that can't move out and live on their own. They need a place where they're well cared for and that is close by to their parents and friends and family. So I hope and pray that that you approve this application. Thank you.
Kathleen Lenise.
Hello, my name is Kathleen Lenise. I live in Kings Park. I am a Smithtown resident for 20 years. Some of you might have heard me. I spoke here the last time there was an issue about a group home. I'm a special educator. I'm an advocate, and I'm the mom of 2 amazing young men with autism who will one day need housing just like this. So I can speak professionally, but also personally about the need for this, exactly this type of home in their community. They deserve to live where they grew up with their families and their friends, just like everybody else. I really didn't write anything down. I'm very happy to experience the difference in tone in this meeting from the last one. It was so oppositional and so upsetting to me as a parent that the way that many residents and members, attendees at that meeting expressed their dislike for the idea of a group home in their community. I'm really happy to hear so much support here in the room today. That really gives me great hope for our future as a community, not just for my own children, but for us as Smithtown. Of course, there is still opposition, and I'm not sure why we really had to hear or even consider the opinion of not what it amounts to an anonymous letter. I feel that people that have something to say to the board and to the community should be able to stand up here and you show your face and you say your name and you say what has to be said. So I don't know. I had a problem with that. I think if you would like to address the community and have them take you seriously, we should know who you are. I don't know if that's one person. I don't know if that's 9 people. I don't know if anybody even lives on that street. So I can understand if you have no experience with the group home that you might have questions. It might be a scary thing if you have no experience with children with special needs. I think Life's Work did a great job explaining it, and hopefully they answered a lot of those questions, and many of your fears will no longer be fears. I have a group home on my own block. They're excellent neighbors. We have never had a moment's trouble with them. They're among the best neighbors we have. You don't get to pick your neighbors. If that house was sold to anybody else, you would have no say in who lived there. You would get what you get, and you could do an awful lot worse. Knowing that you have a Life's Work home coming in, with an impeccable reputation, that they're going to take terrific care of the property, and more importantly, really terrific care of our citizens that deserve to live there. You're actually very, very lucky to be getting them, and I hope that after this meeting, whoever didn't feel that way will agree, and you will be on board to support this home in our community. Thank you.
Tom Galata.
Good evening. First of all, I'd like to say something. I live on Twixt Hills Road, and the characterization...
Excuse me, sir, you're going to have to adjust the board.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Okay. So the characterization of what has been said tonight is not reflective of everybody on the block. There are good people on this block that do support this and want this to happen, okay? We just want to have information, and I think that is the key, right?
Sorry,
We
you're
just-
going to have to adjust the board.
Okay, I'm sorry. I speak to a crowd. I'm sorry. That's what I do for a living, all right? I might come after your job one day. I mean, I don't know. But anyway.
I welcome you. That's fine.
All right, let's go. All right, but
Somebody's going to do it.
we're good people, all right? We're very good people, and we are compassionate, and we understand that we are blessed with kids and with life that we have. And I just don't want, can I look at them for a second? I just don't, everybody, please. Twixt Hills is great. It's a great neighborhood, and we welcome this. We just wanted information up front, that's all. We just wanted to have communication. It was just a little off the cuff. And I'll tell you something right now, I have a 5- and 3-year-old. I almost lost my 5-year-old when he was born. And so I understand the sanctity of childhood. And I'm going to talk to Mr. Winters for a second. I understand that. I appreciate it. And I welcome you to my neighborhood. And whatever we can do to help your child, to help you and welcome you into this neighborhood, I'm there. I am there. And my wife, Danielle, is there. And I'm sure a lot of my friends that we met yesterday are there. Okay? And please, I love you. God bless your child. And please come to our neighborhood. And let's work together and make it a neighborhood. Okay?
Assemblyman Mike Fitzpatrick.
Assemblyman, I'd like to thank you for coming tonight and joining us.
Thank you, Eddie. It's a pleasure to be here, and Supervisor Wareheim and members of the board. You know, those of us with gray hair in the audience might remember back to the early 70s when a young reporter at Channel 7 News named Geraldo Rivera broke a story about the horrific conditions at a place called Willowbrook in Staten Island. And because of that story, which happened to launch Mr. Rivera into national prominence, the Padovan law was passed in 1978. It was proposed by Governor Hugh Carey and sponsored by Senator Padovan, and it was the law that deemed these young people who are going to live at Twixt Hills a family. We no longer institutionalize or developmentally disabled because of what happened at Willowbrook. And because of Padovan, which was created as a result of landmark lawsuits brought by the families of those affected by those horrific conditions, they are now allowed to live in the least restrictive conditions, which is what a group home is. So under New York state law, they are a family, no different than yours or mine, and that's a good thing. So I can vouch for the quality of the work that Life's Work does and the other organizations. I sat where you're sitting for 15 years and sat through probably 15 or 16 of these hearings. And I feel somewhat responsible for encouraging Supervisor Wareheim to have this hearing tonight because it's not mandated under the law, although I think it perhaps should be. But maybe because of tonight's experience, it may not be necessary because in the beginning, it wasn't as pleasant an experience as the one we're having tonight. There was a lot of resistance. there was a lot of fear, a lot of misunderstanding. So I called Supervisor Wareheim and asked him you should do what we did back under Supervisor Vecchio when I was on the board, and invite the organization to come in to meet the community, explain what Padavan is to those who need to learn about it, who is Life's Work, and what is a day in the life of one of their residents like. And you find they are just normal people who need a little bit of help. So I want to just say thank you for having this meeting this evening. Thank you for allowing me to speak. Life's Work is a wonderful organization. I've worked with them in the past and with others. They do God's work. The staff is fantastic, and there but for the grace of God, no you or I. And we are very fortunate to have, I think, about 34 group homes in the town of Smithtown. There is an ascendance in the rate of autism. There will be more. And nothing breaks my heart more than the meeting I just attended last week for the families of those who are aging out and are desperate for places to place their children. Because I remember sitting where you are, where you would have elderly parents who would sit here and say, where is my daughter or my son going to go when we're no longer here? And our former controller, Bill Minerva, had a special needs daughter. Bill and Ida are now dead, and Clarissa lives in a group home. Our highway superintendent adopted a special needs young man and brought them into his family. So, this is why Smithtown is the best town in Suffolk County, is because we do welcome our residents regardless of who they are, and people like Life's Work make it a very special place for them to live. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Michael. Okay, I again would like to thank Assemblyman Fitzpatrick for joining us tonight. I would like to thank LifeWorks for appearing here tonight. I would like to thank everyone in the room for a very civil meeting tonight. It is not always that way, and we do have about 35 group homes located in Smithtown. You rarely hear, if ever, a complaint about them. So I applaud you all for a very civil meeting. I want to wish you all a happy Valentine's Day, and I move to close the meeting.
Second.
Supervisor Wareheim?
Yes.
Councilman McCarthy?
Yes.
Councilwoman Noack?
Yes.
Councilwoman Inzarella?
Yes.
Councilman Lohman?
Yes.